And welcome to a demo of the Omniboost Owners Portal as it's connected to a Cloudbeds demo property. What you see in front of you is a main dashboard, very similar to the one that you will see once you have your profile set up and you received your property admin credentials. I will now walk you through the setup process and list all and explain all of the features that the system supports. In order to get to this step, what you would do is you would go into your Cloudbeds profile, go to your marketplace, and find the Omniboost Owners Portal integration and request a connection from there. Once that happens, the Omniboost team will receive the information needed in order to pull the physical configuration of your property along with the related reservations and revenue information. We will use this to set up your profile, and then we will send you the credentials needed to log in. Once you log in, the first step that you will go to is setting up your property configuration. Here you would see some basic information and are able to access again the rooms and some reports, which I will show you in a little bit. First, we will go to editing the property. So what you see here is a list of features that you are able to set up at both the property level and the individual owner level. So a number of these features can be configured for all owners, or those settings can be overridden at the individual owner level to allow you to further manage any differences and then be able to support different kinds of cooperation across your different contracts with the owners. So here for your information, you would have the reservation check-in and check-out time as is configured in your Cloudbeds environment. The first feature here you have is the show financial data to users. This allows you to display or hide the revenue related to the reservations in a given space, and this will be a little bit clearer when I show you a room and revenue overview. We've created a number of reports that we've chosen 4 different hospitality metrics for: cumulative revenue, year-to-date revenue, occupancy, and ADR. And you can also choose to show these reports to all users or make them possible or visible only to some owners. Additional documents. This allows you to select and upload a file, let it be a newsletter or any sort of financial statement, any document that you would like to share with all of the owners instantly. You're able to do so by uploading a file here. Similar thing is possible on each individual owner level. Those files, along with invoices that you generate for these owners, are going to be visible and accessible immediately from their profile. So in their case, they would have a similar setup, but on the left hand side their menu, instead of invoices, would say documents, and all different types of documents that I've just listed would be available for their access there. Commission calculations. In case you have commission calculations set up on any of the sources of reservations, you're able to specify those here, and then if you do that, we will make sure that every time a reservation that comes from that channel, the calculation will include the removal of that OTA commission. I will show you what that looks like again in the revenue overview. Reservation products. If you choose to enable reservation creation by the owners through the portal, you are also able to select a number of products that they can choose during their reservation. So here we will display a list of all of the products that you have created in your Cloudbeds environment, and then we'll ask you to select only the ones that you wish to be shown to the owner when they're making their own reservation. I will show you what that looks like from their perspective in a little bit. If you would like to limit the number of reservations an owner can make within a year period, you're able to do that by enabling this particular feature and then specifying the number of nights that they are able to book on their own. Once they've reached this limit, the Add Reservation button will simply be disabled from their profile. The revenue percentages section, this is where you can set up any sort of additional revenue calculation or deduction, such as an additional management fee, a cleaning fee, anything you would like to apply to the revenue that is generated by that space before the payout to the owner. Percentage, fixed amount, they can even be calculated per person. You can make as many of these deductions as you want. They will be applied in the order in which you create them. In the invoice data section, we ask that you provide some basic property information, phone number, email, website, all of these things that are going to be pulled into the financial invoice that you will be creating for each individual owner. I will show you an example of an invoice to make this a little bit clearer. Design parameters, this is where you are able to design or make the changes to the design. So what you see now are our default settings and colors, but if you upload your own logo, then that will be visible here instead of our own. Your logo also gets automatically included in every single one of the invoices that are created. You're able to move the menu from the left-hand side to the top. You can upload a banner image that will be visible across the top, and you can also modify background text and general menu colors just to allow you to give your own look and feel to the particular profile. Once you've set up your property, the next step that you will do is go and create users. You can easily add users for each of the owners that you cooperate with. You simply need to provide their first and last name, email, and enter a password. The moment that you create their profile and click Save, this information is sent to the owner to the email that you provided here. You don't have to worry about that. In case that they receive that information, they will not be able to access anything until you've actually selected or assigned a different space to their particular user profile. So here we're going to make a test user profile. We can just enter any particular email over here and select a country and then enter any password and then set up a profile just to show you how easy this is. So over here you have a list of all of the user profiles, and now once you've created the profile, you're also able to make additional modifications. I won't go through the listings of the features again, but here you can see that all of the features that are able to be set up at the property level can also be overridden at the individual investor level. Here's another place where you can also share documents specifically with this owner, and then those will also be visible in their own document section of their profile. You can enter user invoice data. This will also automatically be pulled into the invoices or financial statements, or you can ask the owners to populate these fields themselves because they are accessible from their profile tab down here. So once they log in, they can go to their profile, they will see these options, and they're able to enter this information for you. Once you've set up the users, the next step is to assign the users to the rooms. So here is another overview of the rooms, this time in a list view. As you can see, some basic information. So this is the name of the space. These are the users assigned to spaces. These are the number of reservations that are already pulled into these spaces. And an easy way to assign users to their rooms is to go to Edit All Rooms. You can select a user, and over here you can assign them to all or some of the spaces that you use to cooperate with them. Here you are asked to provide an investment start date. So you determine at what point the owner is able to see the information related to the space you've assigned to them. So here we can say that all of the information related to these spaces is available to this owner from this starting date. If I do not enter an end date, they will then be able to see this information or access this information until I come in and do so, or to make that change as a property admin. If I was to enter an end date here, the moment that that date arrives, my profile will still exist as an owner, but I will no longer be able to access the revenue and reservation information related to that space. So I can save this now, and this owner will have access to those particular spaces. Now we can go back to rooms and we can look at an example of one of the rooms here. You can also modify the rooms individually. As you can see here, all of the owners that are existing, all of the profiles that are existing here in the property, you can assign all of them or modify them on this particular space. So you can set up, for example, multiple owners on a single space, and you can have them using the same investment start date or different investment start and end dates. If we go back to the rooms, we can now click on and see a little bit more information about this particular room. Down here we have a description, room features, and because it's connected to a demo property, we didn't pull that in yet, but then you're also going to have an image of that space as it is set up in the Cloudbeds, in your Cloudbeds environment. Every room has two pieces of information related to it, reservations and revenue. So now we're going to go to reservations. Over here we have a list of the reservations that are created in this, that exist in this space in your Cloudbeds profile. You can see the start and end date, number of adults, number of children, whether there's an origin country, if that's available in the Cloudbeds profile, and if the reservation belongs to general guests or if it's own usage. So as we're looking at this from the property admin perspective, we cannot differentiate because we are not an owner. But if I was signed in as an owner looking at this space, and if any one of these reservations was created by me through my profile, there would be a little green tick mark here, helping me differentiate my reservation from those of other guests. This down here is another overview of the reservations in this space, just making it a little bit easier visually to determine when the space is free or occupied. If any one of these reservations was mine, instead of being in red like the general ones, it would be showing in blue. So now I will show you how to easily create a reservation as an owner. Here I would simply select the start and end date. So let's go March 13th. Until the 6th or 15th, number of adults, no children, and let's say continental breakfast. So we are now in room DQ1. Just to show you, this is the related Cloudbeds profile. So in room DQ1, and we're picking times for March. So if we go over here, we can see March 16th through 17th, and now we can create a reservation for this space. Oh, sorry, March 13th through 15th, those are the dates. So those are actually booked, as we can see here, so we can change to March 17 and 18. Okay. And we're gonna, so now here we can see 17 and 18 DQ1, it is now empty. If we go here and we click create, we'll see that the reservation was created successfully. And if we go over here, and we can see, as you saw, that a reservation is now been added to the Cloudbeds profile. If we click on it and go to reservation details, we can see a little bit more about the reservation. So we can see in the folio, for example, that this is the continental breakfast that we've added. And we can see that these are the details of the reservation that was just created. The owner's portal is connected two-way with your Cloudbeds property, so reservations that are created in here are automatically posted in there, and any reservation that is created in your Cloudbeds profile through any channel is automatically pulled in and made available here. If we go back to our room, we can go to the second component, which is the revenue. So here we have a listing of all of the revenue that's generated in this space for each of the nights of a given period. So you can look at this as a month, a quarter, and year. So here, for example, we have the revenue that was generated for the 1st of February. The net value is 159 euros. So the net value is after we've removed any taxes and after we've removed any commission calculations that you selected while setting up the property. This is the remaining amount that we have to work with. And in the revenue calculation section that you saw of the property setup, this is an example of a deduction that you can apply at the property level or the individual owner level. So let's say this is our management fee that is applied, and then it is deducted from the total or the net value that is generated, giving us the remaining amount that can be paid out to this owner at the end of the payout period for this given night. And if we go down here, we have the total that is revenue that is generated. We have a total that will be deducted from that amount and the total amount expected to be paid out. This information is used to generate invoices. So this is an example of an invoice or a financial statement that can be sent to an investor to show them exactly what they can expect on their payout. This is a draft. I'll show you first how easy it is to create one. So here you go and you can select a user that you'll be creating the invoice for. As you can see, these users are not yet available because the user invoice data is not filled. Once that step is completed, then they're going to be visible and selectable from this drop-down. So we're just going to select a user, and then here is where you would see the rooms. Let's pick a different one. Here's where you can see the rooms that are assigned to that user. You can select one or multiple spaces. You can select any time frame that you wish to create the invoice for. If you'd like to send this automatically to your, not only just to the investor, but also to your own accountant, for example, you're able to add that email here and the invoice will be sent to that address as well. You can choose to have the totals on the invoice as a summary or as a detailed price breakdown. You will see the difference shortly. And then here, if you would like to enter any additional one-off costs that need to be deducted from the payout amount, you can do that here. So we're now just going to create this invoice. As you can see, now it is being generated. This one over here is draft. So what we can still do to any draft invoice is we can preview it. And we can also edit it as long as it stays a draft. The moment that it will become a final document is when we actually choose to send it. So over here you can see this is where your logo, if you upload it, would be visible. This is where the owner or user information would be populated. This is some basic information about the invoice. Here we have room revenue and for the date range that we've selected, and here is a little bit more information. So this is the space, this is the reservation identifier, the start and end period of that reservation, the net value that was generated, the 10% deduction or management fee that we've applied, and the expected total that's going to be sent or paid out to the investor. Here we have a deduction one-off time for a broken lamp, and then here we can have the totals down here that can be paid out. And then down here we also have the property information that you've entered in the property profile. So if we go over here, now we can see that this is also now visible as a draft, and I'm going to go ahead and send this invoice. I'm going to be asked to confirm because once this is sent, it will no longer be possible to edit this document. And now we can see that this is officially the first invoice that has been sent for this property, and it will be then done in a sequential order. The next invoice will be CC-2, and I can always preview it, but I can no longer modify it. One of the other things that I would like to show you are the property level performance reports. So this is an easy way for you, if you choose to show the property performance metrics, ADR, year-to-date, cumulative revenue, and occupancy. You can select to show this to all owners or only individual ones. This was as a part of our request from property admins that we're getting a lot of questions about whether the reservations are being assigned to the individual owners in a fair manner, and this was an easy way for them to show them this really is the occupancy, this is really the revenue and ADR that is happening across the entire property. One other thing is here, you are, as a property admin, you are notified of all the changes, so any reservations that are created and any changes to invoices, you're able to have a clear overview over here, and you can easily manage those notifications.